Growing up, being able to see a Naomi Campbell who's a chocolate girl, a darker complected black girl that looks like me, just gave me the confident boost that I needed, especially at a young age.
Have you met Naomi?
Yes, she's the sweetest. A little like overwhelming because it's like Naomi Campbell and I don't get starstruck by a lot of people, but she has such a strong presence. Hey, what's up, Teen Vogue? I'm Normani, and these are some of my firsts. First time that I performed in front of an audience, I feel like as young and as far back as I can remember, it was actually probably my dance recital. About 3 years old, I remember wanting to get into dance only because I wanted a tutu really badly. I felt like as a shy kid, I could express myself and people would understand me, so. The fact that Rihanna chose me to be the first Savage x Fenty ambassador was just such an honor, especially because I know that this is her passion project. Like, this is her baby aside from music. Something really, really dear to her. And like I said, she cares about it wholeheartedly. So for her to see something in me or want me to be a part of it just meant a lot to me. And I'm really, really honored to be a part of something that's so inclusive. Like I said, that represents so many people from different walks of life, you know, and them being able to own who they are at the core, confidently, in spite of what society tells them who to be. I'm just really happy to be a part of that and be the voice. I was a competitive dancer, and for a long time I was a part of a company called Dance Zone in Houston, Texas, which was the first dance studio and really my home, coming from New Orleans, Louisiana, because me and my family had to relocate because of Hurricane Katrina. And I just remember watching like the older kids do their solos and like coming off stage and we celebrating their awards. And I was like, yo, I want my own award. Like, I want to be able to do that too. I want to build the confidence to get on stage by myself. And I remember dancing to Glamorous Life by Sheila E. I completely forgot my dance. I ran off stage, but Miss Sheila was right there in the wing, and she just like, she made sure that I didn't give up on myself, and I went back out there and I ended up winning the competition. So I can't really remember the first move that I learned in gymnastics, but I just know that I was always bouncing around my house, which is why my parents were like, we need to get this girl in somebody's gym because she's doing backflips on the bed. I was in gymnastics for a really, really long time, like at the age of 4. So I think that that's where some of my work ethic probably comes from. I would definitely have to say that Kelly Rowland, for me, even more than she probably understands and knows, has had a great impact on me. Anytime I'm like in a panic, to be honest, whether it's me second guessing myself when it comes to music videos or when I'm just simply going through like a really, really hard time, I just know that I have her to lean on. I love her, she's like big sister. I think for me, being able to see Naomi Campbell like growing up made me feel like I was the standard of beautiful as well. Like, she's a supermodel. Growing up, being able to see a Naomi Campbell who's a chocolate girl, a darker complected black girl that looks like me, just gave me the confident boost that I needed, especially at a young age. Like, I was one of 3 black kids in my school, so I think that she kind of gave me the confidence and the tools that I needed to be comfortable in my space.
Have you met Naomi?
Yes, she's the sweetest ever. A little like overwhelming because it's like Naomi Campbell and I don't get starstruck by a lot of people, but she has such a strong presence. I feel like I saw something like, oh, Normani and Meg Thee Stallion, like they have a romance going on, and I was like, what? People come up with the wildest things and the wildest stories. They go based off of what they see on social media, even though I know for a fact, like, we've never given anybody any reason to even think that. That was really, really funny to me, and one of those moments where I was just like, yo, I guess this is what you signed up for. Oh my God, my first time touring was crazy. Honestly, like, if I could make it through that tour, I literally feel like I can accomplish anything else in my career. We were coming off of the X Factor. We were doing radio promo on top of being on our own headline tour, and we were opening for Demi Lovato. When I think of that time, I get a little bit of anxiety. I actually remember we were so excited to get our first tour bus because for new acts, especially coming off of a reality television show, part of it is paying your dues and being in the business for a while. We were all very, very young and underage. Like, we had to have our parents come out at different times. So like 1 week my mom would be out, basically have to take turns We jumped right into it. Crazy times. The first thing I do after a show, I jump right in the shower. For me, skincare is really important, especially because I wear makeup all the time, being on stage, sweating, and I really just suffered with my skin throughout the course of my career, to be honest, especially from a young age. Not wearing a lot of makeup to drastically wearing makeup every single day for long periods out of the day. As much as I love makeup, I enjoy removing it too. My favorite beauty product, because I'm really into skincare, would probably have to be the Honey Cleanser by Is Clinical. It's really, really gentle. It's healing. It's for sensitive skin, and it also smells and tastes like honey. I know that I shouldn't be eating it, and I'm not encouraging you to eat it. Please do not eat the Honey Cleanser, but if it happens, just know that it tastes good. I think for me, what was really exciting was seeing the billboard for Dancing with a Stranger. It was just a representation of all of the hard work. Like, I've been pretty much preparing for this moment since I was 3 years old. Not only me, but my parents having to sacrifice, me sacrificing being away from home, and missing out on a lot of my teenage years, which are some of the most pivotal moments, you know, like me not being able to go to school and like dances. It was just one of those moments where I had to stop and smell the roses and think of how far I came with Sam Smith, who's somebody that I looked up to for a very, very long time. Ooh, my first time going solo, I think, to be honest, it was a bit of a transition. I've always been used to and comfortable with being a part of a team, but I think for me, like, this was God's way of telling me, like, you got this, like, you're enough. You know, and I think really being able to own that and really stepping into who I am and what my purpose is. I'm just getting started, really. The VMAs were the only time that I sat in a basketball hoop on live television. That was actually really scary. I'm not gonna lie, because somebody was actually like manually lifting me and bringing me down. Even during rehearsals, it was a little bit inconsistent. It wasn't like it was on a timer where I could just know where I would be each time. It was just like, okay, this is live. Hopefully he gets it right. Hopefully I get it right. Hopefully I don't fall. And my music messed up during that performance, which was crazy because it didn't happen during rehearsal. So I was like, you know, I gotta roll with the punches. But that really taught me to not dwell, especially with things that I don't have control over. I'm kind of a perfectionist, which is a blessing and a curse, but the VMAs, they were fun. I feel like my first red carpet was at the Radio Disney Music Awards. I still had my tiny little gap. I had orange like lipstick. It was like a reddish pinkish orange lipstick. I had a bang. My hair was like blonde. I went through such a phase. I went through so many phases. Oh my gosh. My favorite style, I'd have to say the blue hair. Like, I just loved being able to express myself in that way. Ooh, my first solo song where I was like, I got this, I actually got this, would be Love Lies. Only because it's also one of my favorite records. I genuinely wanted to make my favorite record, and I feel like that's what me and Khalid ended up doing. Even if it wasn't my record, like that would be my jam, so. Okay, so it's out of two people. The first time that I remember being starstruck would be seeing Alicia Keys in concert. She was like my everything growing up. I had the braids, all the records. I would always be singing If I Ain't Got You Around the House. And she was actually the first person that I saw in concert. And I remember bringing her a bouquet of roses, and the security guard totally shut me down. So I was a little disappointed. And then another person would be Lil Wayne. He's obviously from New Orleans, Louisiana, and he shot a music video in my neighborhood. I got my little photo. My day was made. I honestly just bought a new home. And for me, this is like, it's a big girl step, you know? Like, I've worked really, really hard, and obviously living in and out of hotels, it's just really nice to have a place to come home to. I'm excited. New ventures. I think the first time that I felt like I made it was probably when I saw thousands of people and thousands of fans show up at the mall when we were doing mall tours. I kid you not, in front of like JCPenney's, and thousands of kids waiting in line for hours just to get our signature. So the first time that I voted, I felt incredibly empowered. I couldn't wait to turn 18, just so I felt like my voice could be heard. I think that a lot of people kind of have this misconception that one person can't make change. And I think that if it's a bunch of individual people taking the time out to vote, knowing that you can make a difference in the way that you view the world. Thank you so much, Teen Vogue. I'm Normani, and these were some of my firsts. I hope y'all enjoyed.